Good morning, Supervisor Cernachari and Board of Supervisors. My name is Ted Samara. I'm the Executive Director of United Public Employees, and we represent about 3,400, David, would you think, county employees around there. And so we're here today to discuss contract negotiations. And I know you have a closed session coming up here, and I appreciate you Board of Supervisors taking time to meet with me to talk briefly on contract negotiations. You're going to hear a lot from your negotiators that there's a lot on the table, and there is a little bit on the table, but these are going to those county employees that help your neighborhoods with the homeless problem, help them receive aid, those that can't make enough in these rough times. We have social workers out there trying their best to provide services to families, to keep the family together. I've talked to many of you about the walking homes. These are the same folks here that deserve a livable wage increase. When the pandemic hit and inflation rose to 6-7%, the county offered 4%. So they're still behind the curve here. They just want that parity. They want what you all got and an equal pay raise. We're not here to hate that you got yours, or when Ann was here and she gave it to herself and her deputies and directors with retro pay. That's fine. If you deserve it, you deserve it. But they deserve it. These folks took time off today, vacation time, to come speak with you today because they deserve it. And they deserve you to take care of them as county employees. They make you all look good by providing those services. They took the jobs like you took your job, to protect, to help, to assist your constituents, their community members. I talked to you all about the working conditions. They're the ones working in it. And you all heard me. I've been coming up here for years talking about the work conditions. And now it's hit the fan. We don't want to strike, but we will. That is our last resort. Strike is not a goal, it's a tool. And it's a tool we don't want to have to use. So please, when they come up to speak, please have your ears on and hear what they have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we have...
Hi, good morning. My name's Sarah Singleton. I've been a social worker for Sacramento County since 1999. I currently work at Emergency Response and Child Protective Services, and I'm also on the 008 bargaining team. I wanted to express my concern about the county's position regarding equity raises and retention for Child Protective Services. The county provided UPE with data that shows that the human services social worker is below the base pay median by 7% with our comparable counties. The bargaining team has requested 5% in order to bring social workers at least into that median. Your negotiator has responded saying that the county is willing to either give the social workers a 2.8% equity, or the bargaining team can choose to put that money elsewhere. What is confusing to me, as somebody that's negotiated several contracts, my fellow social workers and my fellow board members, is how this is an either-or situation. Human services social workers have been under the median in several negotiations I've been part of, including the most recent contract that just expired. Not bringing social workers up to a comparable base pay is not only insulting, but it's detrimental to the county in recruiting and retaining social workers in programs across both DCFAS and DHA. I'd also like to touch on the retention incentive for CPS. The bargaining team has requested an increase in the retention incentive for CPS social workers, family service workers, and child development specialists. Recruitment and retention has been an ongoing issue for CPS for 20 years. I'm sure you're all aware. CPS is chronically understaffed, placing pressure on staff to do more work to cover the vacant positions. CPS social workers family service workers, and child development specialists regularly place themselves in harm's way in order to assist children and families in need, whether going unannounced into
Ms.
people's
Sarah,
homes.
could you please wrap up your comments?
Sorry.
Thank you.
Attempting to work with hostile clients and in the welcome homes. Again, I'm sure you're aware of the problems there. Sacramento County, keeping our pay competitive may keep highly qualified staff around longer, saving money in the long run, and in constant turnover and training. I'll close in saying that I am still optimistic that you are listening and that you want to do what is best for both your social services staff as well as the children and families of Sacramento. Thank you.
I ask that you please keep your comments to 2 minutes.
Thank you. Good morning, Sacramento County Supervisors. My name is James Starr. I've been working for the county since 1985 in Department of Human Assistance through building closures, layoffs, decades of chronic understaffing, and COVID. I'm also a member of my union bargaining team. We have been trying to negotiate a new contract since December, and it's been an uphill fight all the way for no good reason. Your county team have made themselves unaccountably unavailable for bargaining in a way I have seldom seen through 11 contract cycles. The latest stunt was Mr. Michael Jarvis's sudden illness, which has stalled bargaining for almost the entire month of April. Maybe I shouldn't have been surprised. He did the same stunt 3 years ago, last contract cycle. Maybe he's allergic to unions, maybe he's allergic to fairness. Please quit wasting your employees' time and order your team back to the table, this time with a fair economic offer. To do otherwise is to devalue your employees who only want decent working conditions and a fair contract. Thank you.
Good morning, Supervisor Cerna, members of the board. I'm a member of Bargaining Unit 008. I've worked for the county for about 13 years now. What I'd like to talk about this morning is a matter of value. Our members are your public face in providing county services. Our caseload represents approximately a third of the county residents. What we're asking for is for our value to be recognized. We're looking for a fair contract. We're looking for an equitable contract that recognizes the inflation of the last several years. We're looking at a contract that meets reasonable compensation for the stress, the working conditions, the workload. I will point out that Costco is now paying their clerks close to what our entry-level staff are being paid with less stress. The other thing in value, it's more than just the dollars within the contract. We're looking at indirect costs in service delay because of staffing and staff retention. We're looking at training costs to replace the staff that has left. And this has been an ongoing issue that I've experienced for the 13 years I've worked for the county. So, numbers I don't have, I'm not part of the bargaining team. However, I would ask that as you consider our contract, that you do consider the value that our members provide the county. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Tezra Sledge, and I'm a business agent with UPE assigned to DCFAS, specifically CPS, and I am a part of the negotiating team as a co-chief negotiator.
I'm going to stop your time. Can you bring the microphones down? I'm looking right through the microphones at your eyes, and I want to be able to see your face.
Sorry about that.
Thank you.
There you go. That's as low as it goes.
No problem. So in listening to and being in the contract negotiation sessions, like I said, specifically, I represent CPS. I'm assigned there. And there have been multiple incidents of the social workers and the CDSs getting assaulted while on the job. There's a social worker that lost his finger while on the job. Their vehicles are constantly damaged while on the job. They are punched in the face, they are kicked, they are hit, they are spit upon, which is crazy to me, to have somebody spit on you while you're at work, but it happens to them, and it happens to them on a daily basis while they are there. We requested to have a 15% incentive for them, which is the same that the mental health counselors and YDF receive. Those mental health counselors are protected by staff that are trained to protect them against the same population of youth that the social workers in these welcoming houses are dealing with. Your negotiator came to the table and rejected that 15%. If you do not think that losing a finger is worth 15%, then there is something definitely wrong with this picture. And I would implore you to send your chief negotiator back to the table with something substantial that we can actually negotiate. Because what he's doing right now is not negotiating. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
In August of 2024, the County Board of Supervisors responded to a grand jury finding that the County Board of Supervisors had erroneously approved themselves a 36% increase to their salaries rather than a 20% increase to their salaries. In their response, they stated that by November of 2024, they would calculate the amount overpaid and implement a, quote, a plan to recoup the overpayment. November 2024 has passed, and the details of such a plan do not appear to have ever been released. I contacted the Office of District Supervisor Phil Cerna regarding this issue and have not received a response. I and my fellow county workers find it unacceptable that the county board would be capable of approving themselves a significant pay raise with little to no deliberation while failing to come to an agreement on a pay raise as little to 1 to 4% for the workers that speak to and interact with some of our most vulnerable communities directly. This is not to say that the county board does not do work worthy of a salary increase, but we want what we're worth too. We don't want congratulatory emails. We don't want pats on the back. We want fair compensation. We want adequate leave, and we will fight for that. And it doesn't get more complicated than that.
Great. Thank you. And
Good morning, everybody.
morning.
My name is Priscilla, and I've worked as a family service worker for Sacramento County for the last 15 years. Over the past several years, I've seen an uptake in violence of the workers that have experienced, including a coworker that has had his finger cut off, which you've already heard about, and another who was dragged out of his county vehicle and brutally assaulted. That assault left him with broken ribs, a broken nose, and a broken neck. These events happened while they were just doing their jobs. We put ourselves on the line every single day while protecting the most vulnerable population, which is the children. We don't have the luxury of having a weapon on our hips to protect us while we do it. At the absolute very least, we should be compensated for what we do day in and day out.
Good morning.
Morning.
I know it seems like I have a lot, right? It looks like I'm going to do a lot. It looks like I'm about to do a lot. I'm not going to do that much. I have been a social worker in Child Protective Services with Sacramento County since 2013. I've worked in emergency response, court services. I worked as a team decision-making facilitator and a prevention child and family team facilitator, which has gone away, but that's a different discussion. Whenever I tell anyone in the public that I've chose to work for CPS, they all shake their head and say, I don't know how you can do that job. I knew that when I came here. I wanted to help kind of mend families together, support families in their reunification, and provide support to them. However, I know doing that is knocking on doors where people are not wanting me to be there, and that is a very dangerous and precarious position to be in, especially when you do not have a weapon on your hip. So I ask that with everything that's going on, that we just consider that for me, as somebody who did this on purpose, I take being a public servant seriously. It means a lot to me, and it means a lot to me to get it right. please, I believe that you embrace that as well. And I do not begrudge you compensation for what it is you do, because I think your leadership is valuable and you deserve to be compensated for it. I think what we do deserves compensation as well. And it is when your negotiator comes to our table and offers something on the table that starts with 1%, it's insulting and it's infuriating. That is also a representation of you, because you are the ones that are charged with sending him there. I don't think that he should, if that is not the case, that he doesn't represent you in that way, I hope that when we go back to our negotiation table, that feeling is represented with what we encounter there. Last thing, I don't know the lady that was here, Ms. Ward, but please do look into what she has said. Social workers are not infallible, the courts are not infallible, and if there's any truth to what she said, then injustice is being done, and that needs to be corrected.
Thank you, Ms. Booker. Madam Clerk.
Good morning, Chair. Board
Morning.
of Supervisors. My name is Kiki Brand. I work with the Department of Human Assistance last 14 years. I am obviously a 008 member, and I am the steward for UPE. You've already heard about we would like a raise and compensation for the job that we do. You've also heard about the dangers that you have many of our members in. I'm not here to beg you. We've already been here before. Last contract, we came in here and advised you, the ones that are in these chairs who are still here, that we want what we deserve. Our families want what we deserve. And your families get what you feel they deserve. 1%, 1.5, 2.8 is not what we deserve. And everything in this economy has gone up. Rent inflation, groceries, gas, but we're not receiving any of our pay going up. We're not receiving leave times going up, and we want those things. So what I'm gonna ask you is to utilize the morals that I believe you have, stand on the principles that I hope you have, and go back and tell your negotiator to go back to our negotiation table and bargain with dignity and leave us with ours. Because if he keeps provoking us, you have many more members, including myself, who is ready to strike. We don't want to. I love helping this community. That's why I took the job. I didn't take it to become a millionaire. I took it to help the community. The same constituents that voted you into those seats are the same ones that can vote you out. We want a right and fair contract. We deserve it.